Hey everyone, I'm back. So the reason I have these three out together, so Maddie, Cassie, and Lily, isn't just that all of their names end with an E sound. Um, it's actually because these three are sort of connected. Um, I talked about in a previous video how Cassie and Lily are, in a sense, connected. But just so you don't have to go back and watch that video, which gets very strange at times, I'm going to try and do kind of the Cliff Notes version of that video. Um, so most of the stories that I write using my characters, which these three are, take place at the Curiosity Shop. And the Curiosity Shop is like a magical knickknack and antique store that exists outside of time and space. It's kind of like a self-enclosed universe, but it can connect out to just about any other universe out there, which leads to some really strange things that can happen. Like a story that is fiction in one world is actually really happening in another world. And in world I'm referring to like separate universes here. So yeah, multiverse like that. And that's actually how Lily and Cassie are connected, and Maddie and Cassie are connected. In the world that Maddie and Lily live in, there's an MMO, massively multiplayer online game, that takes place in kind of a retro-futuristic world. There's a bit of space travel, there's mysteries, there's, some adventuring stuff. That's pretty laid back. It's like an open sandbox, sort of, with quests. Pretty standard MMO stuff. Anyway, but in that MMO, in one of the particular cities, there is an unplayable character that you can do quests for, and the quests you have to do for this character are ridiculously hard. But they give some of the best rewards. And it isn't just like a one-off thing. You can do these quests for this character, for this NPC, and the NPC isn't always there because, as the other NPCs say, oh, that girl's off doing something we don't know where. That NPC, by the way, is Cassie. And in the universe that Cassie is from, that's precisely the sort of thing that she's doing. She and her brother Hal are trying to kind of solve the mystery of where on earth their dad has gone. And they live in a retro-futuristic world, and there are robots. And Cassie has cybernetic hands, and Hal has cybernetic eyes that are honestly kind of freaky. But he also makes, as you can imagine, countless cracks about the fact that his name is Hal Bowman. Yeah. What can I say? I like putting those little touches in. So anyway, that's what I mean by things are fictional and then are real somewhere else. So that's how Maddie and Cassie connect to... Sorry, Maddie and Lily connect to Cassie, because Maddie and Lily play a MMO together sometimes, particularly if they're trying to solve Cassie's quests. And I'm holding Lily because she's not wanting to sit still. She keeps shifting in my arms, shifting on the bed, so it works just better. Let's squeeze in this way. Yeah, that works. And now for how these two are connected. As you can probably guess by the fact that they play an MMO together, they are acquaintances, and they do exist in the same world. World in this case being physical planet. And it's actually pretty similar to our world in a lot of aspects. So, probably the biggest thing is that Newfoundland, which is in reality our reality, in our reality is a province of Canada. In the reality that these two are from, it is its own separate country. And Maddie is from Newfoundland, and she lives in a rural outport, pretty much middle of nowhere. And she's a fisherman's daughter. And Lily here lives in Canada, lives in a very cosmopolitan, medium-sized city, with her mother. And they actually do have some friends in common, which is how they end up getting connected eventually. And I'm actually happy with how well these three look together. I was kind of worried that Maddie and Lily here would look too different, to kind of look like they're from, roughly the same world. But horrible camera quality is horrible, but you can kind of see that the features... Okay, one of you has to kneel. There. You can kind of see that the features aren't, the styles aren't so drastically different that you can't just say that, they kind of do look like the same species, at the very least. And I'm happy that Cassie here also kind of looks like she could be from the same world. And even, this is probably the one that's the most stark, this Ice Sprite is not in one piece because the rest of her is a major work in progress. This is Nagisa, and she is Maddie's roommate, and she is actually a Ice Sprite. She's magic and very strange. There's a lot of culture shock. These two, as I said, live together, obviously. Obviously, they're roommates. But, Nagisa is a different species, and she's supposed to look humanoid, but, something is a bit off. And it's not just the ears, but there's something proportionately off. So I'm glad that actually does translate. And I was worried that her head size wouldn't look right, but the large head actually, surprisingly, doesn't look as off next to the rest of the people from that universe. Because a few of them do have wider faces, even if the actual head dimension is small, so it works, which is very good. And I think I only have one more update. Cassie does have, since she goes on, she has her quests and she has to find things. She has a bag now. This is actually a bag that came with a set, that this is the top for, so this is the jacket for. But I'd never used the purse, and now I have a character who will actually use this bag. It's kind of a standard, so no nonsense bag. And what else? Oh, right. Almost forgot. Speaking of Maddie and Nagisa, I made, using the Sims 4 Create a Sim, I made some Sims versions of them. So kind of more what they would look like as people, but still a bit cartoony. So I'll put that at the end of the video right now.